If a planet is dying from rapid overconsumption, is eliminating half of its population the only way to save it? The current trajectory of Earth is grim. We are facing a reality of rapidly melting glaciers, rising seas that threaten to inundate coastal cities, widespread famine, and severe global water shortages. This heat map visualizes the shrinking of our coastal borders, projecting a massive displacement of 1 to 3.5 billion climate refugees, depending on how much carbon we continue to emit. Living under these projections creates a heavy psychological toll. People are experiencing profound eco-anxiety, leading to the assumption that we must make some devastating, massive sacrifice of human life just to keep the Earth habitable. But does eliminating half the population give the other half a chance to save the planet from imminent doom? It distracts us from addressing the actual mechanics of our planetary decay. Instead of viewing our fate as a single, inevitable doom, predictive climate modeling lets us look at the future as a series of branching pathways, each shaped by the decisions we make right now. This timeline structure shows a single dark trajectory, splitting into alternative paths. Out of billions of permutations, viable survival routes don't require wiping out humanity. These successful, glowing paths share one underlying requirement. We must entirely eliminate our reliance on fossil fuels. We don't need supernatural intervention or a universal reset to avert global catastrophe. We need a sequence of specific, highly engineered technological shifts. The first major shift starts with how we move things. We have to dismantle our dependence on heavy crude oil across global transport and aviation. For ocean freight, we can retrofit massive modern cargo vessels with towering, high-tech aerodynamic wind sails. This cuts massive fossil fuel consumption in maritime shipping. Up in the air, we can replace traditional jet fuel with net-zero aviation biofuels. By farming algae using municipal waste and water treatment plants, we create an energy source that cleans up existing waste while powering flight. This comparative bar chart illustrates the density of that energy. Algae farming yields 180 times more biofuel per acre than traditional corn-based ethanol. Sourcing our transport energy from harnessed surface elements rather than drilling for extracted fossils sets our first permanent anchor into a sustainable timeline. The second massive pivot requires us to overhaul the carbon footprint of our basic infrastructure and our daily consumption. We have to address global methane emissions, and that means rethinking traditional cattle farming. The science now allows for net-zero meat production. Instead of raising livestock, we can engineer proteins directly from a combination of sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. This process diagram details a similar shift in manufacturing. It shows atmospheric CO2 molecules being pulled downward and structurally locked inside solid blocks to create carbon-negative biocement, replacing highly pollutive traditional industrial cement. By redesigning what we eat and how we build our cities, human existence transitions from being a planetary burden into an ecologically neutral presence. Stopping new emissions doesn't solve the whole equation. We still have centuries of accumulated carbon trapping heat in our atmosphere and oceans that we must actively remove. One highly scalable carbon reversal technique involves the strategic use of ocean iron fertilization. In this ocean cross-section, surface iron particles trigger extensive algal blooms. This biological net pulls ambient CO2 from the air. The mature biomass then settles to the dark sea floor, permanently locking captured carbon into the bottom sediment. Executing planetary-scale carbon removal is the definitive action that permanently closes the door on the darkest climate timelines. When we put these technologies into practice, the resulting timeline is bright. Coastal cities are no longer sinking, but are instead seamlessly integrated with green technology, lush vertical gardens, and perfectly clear skies. In this sustainable reality, the predicted global wars over dwindling water supplies and habitable land become obsolete. The power to save the planet doesn't come from a magical snap or reducing our population. It relies entirely on real-world industrial and agricultural blueprints. The industrial processes and carbon-neutral technologies are already designed and tested. Scaling them globally is no longer a matter of invention, but a matter of collective political and societal will. Humanity already possesses the exact technological arsenal required to secure a thriving future. The ultimate choice to use it belongs entirely to us.